All right, here's our 2019 Honda Pilot EX-L front wheel drive, 6-speed automatic transmission. It's got 72,000 miles on it. We had some hard shifts about 2,000 miles ago, between about 40 miles an hour or so. And it happened once, turned the car off, stopped happening. And it's happened maybe a couple times a week for the past couple of months. The last time it happened, it was a hard shift. So you're driving, I was just going to shift to the next gear. It hangs up and it goes boom, and it kind of slams into the next gear. And so last time it happened here in the past week, we had a variety of warning lights come on the dashboard. One was a transmission warning, an emissions warning, and a blind spot monitor warning, as well as a check engine light. And so after that, we hooked up the handheld OBDII sensor to check the check engine light, and it gave us a P0848 code, which is the third gear clutch pressure switch. And so that is what I'm going to fix to see if it fixes our problem. Before I do that, I'm going to change the transmission fluid again. So I did this the first time we had the hard shift. I drained and filled transmission fluid. I'm gonna do it again before I replace the switch, because what I think is happening is there's debris or particulates in the fluid from the clutches that's getting into that switch that's causing the issue. So I'm going to change the fluid one more time to try to get that particulate out before I replace it with the new switch. So before I do the transmission fluid drain and fill, I took the car out for a quick 5-minute spin, made sure I got up to about 50 miles an hour so I could go through all gears 1 through 6. When I pulled back into the driveway, I went in reverse and forward a couple of times, trying to make sure I move all that fluid around, pick up all the debris that's in it. So when I pull the drain plug, it's all suspended within the fluid and hopefully most of it comes out. So that's what I'm gonna do next. And just real quickly, I'll show you how to do that. First thing I did was, there's a transmission dipstick down there, orange handle, I believe, down there. So I pulled that out first to make sure that wasn't creating a vacuum. See if I can zoom in on it. You can kind of see it there, it's sunny. So do that first. And go underneath the car. Got my drain pan. It's gonna be about 3 to 4 quarts of fluid to come out. So make sure you got a big enough can. And right here is your transmission drain plug. So it just takes a 3/8 inch ratchet with no socket on the end of it. Just the pure square ratchet head. Put that in there and unscrew it, and it'll pour out your fluid. Okay, so it came flying out. Now it's just kind of dripping out. You see there's a crush washer on there. You want to replace that. It's a little metal piece. And you want to wipe the end of this drain plug. It's got a magnet on it that collects particulates. So I'm going to wipe that down with a paper towel. All right, so this has been draining for a few minutes. Got a new crush washer on my plug. I'm just gonna start it by hand and snug it up by hand all the way. And then you torque this to 29 foot-pounds. And then you'll be done down here, and then you can go up top and refill it. All right, so now it's time to fill. So I gotta do a long funnel into the hole there. I'll probably do another funnel into there. I'm gonna put about 3.5 quarts of trans fluid back in. You can see this is that's how much I got out. I'm using the Honda DW1, which is what it calls for in the manual, but I've heard Valvoline Max Life is also a good fluid to use, possibly better. I haven't done enough research to decide that yet, so for now I'm sticking to DW1, but feel free to look into the Valvoline Max Life if you want to look to an alternative. So I'm gonna put about 3.5 or 4 of these in. All right, so we refilled the trans fluid. I did 3 and however much that is on the 4th bottle, and it looks like it's where it needs to be. Now I'm gonna work on this 3rd clutch switch. So you can see I've circled it there with the number 7. That is on the front of the transmission, I think. Not really sure. I'm gonna look under there and take a look. Let's see if we can find it together.
Make it
Okay, so false alarm, putting it on ramps, I think you get it from the top. So again, that's what I'm trying to find. And I think it's right there. You see those big 4 gray things? I think those are those big 4 cylinders here. And so the switch on one is above those. And so I think it's one of those gray switches, the one to the right. I'm sorry, not gray, green. There's 2 green switches right there. And I want the one on the right side. So I might be able to get to it without taking anything apart, but I'm probably gonna take the battery out just to make it easier to show what I'm doing. All right, so to get the battery out, first thing you gotta do is just kind of tear this out. Just grab onto it and pull on it. Oh God, I think I broke something. This is easier with 2 hands. Okay, so something, oh yeah. I lost one of these pins. I heard it fall, so I gotta go find it, put this back in. But take that out. Then you got to take out this box, these 2 screws next. So these are easy, you just get a screwdriver, loosen them all the way. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Where'd they go?
And once you get them kind of high like that, they should, well, you need to bite a little bit. There you go, pop out like that. Then this comes out, you just kind of pull it out of this coupling here. Just a rubber boot there. Just kind of twist and pull on it, comes off. Like that. And then now you can take that off and take these little nuts off. And then you can pull the battery out to get to that switch. These 2 are 10 millimeter, so just loosen these all the way. This one and this one. And once you get these kind of loose, you can, can you see down there? These have little hooks on the bottom, you can undo the hook and get them out that way. And this lifts off. And then these 2 10 millimeter bolts on the battery, loosen that so you can take the connections off. I see, well, those should come off once you loosen those enough. All right, so you take these connections off, take the top of this off. There's your battery. Should be able to pull the battery out. Okay. And hopefully this tray comes out. Yep. This tray comes out.
What's that?
Kinda. Just put it to the side.
Daddy?
And then now, I don't know what that is, but now we should be able to get to this pretty easily. This is the switch I'm going to replace.
What are you doing?
Okay, so first just unplug this by hand. I don't know if it's going to let me. I don't think I have enough slack with this, so might need to unplug something else. Let me check. Okay, so I did have enough slack. Just had to push in that button with 2 hands. That comes off there. And now I just need to find a socket or a wrench or something to undo this. One thing people said online was make sure your connections were still okay. Looks like my plug's still good there. My cable's not damaged or anything, so hopefully it is a sensor. So I'm gonna find a socket to fit on that to take that out. Okay, so I went ahead and unplugged this sensor also just because I didn't want to damage the connector while I was working on this. So unplugged that. I think this is about a 7/8 inch socket that needs to go on there. I'm not sure you can get a socket on it though because of this plastic piece behind it. I don't think there's enough clearance back here. So I just used a crescent wrench. If you have a 7/8 inch wrench, combination wrench, that would probably be better. But yeah, I just put this on there and gave it a little turn counterclockwise. It was more force than I was expecting, but got it off. And so now just spin it out, and here is my third clutch high pressure switch. What I assume is happening is that that little hole is full of clutch material. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I think. This is a high pressure switch, therefore it has a crush washer. So again, when you buy the switch, make sure you get the crush washer also. There's probably an associated torque value with this. I don't know what that torque value is, so I'm just gonna try to, put on what I took off, guessing that was 30, 40 foot-pounds or something. So that's what I'm gonna target putting it back on. So I've got my new switch, and I'm going to thread it in by hand with my new crush washer, and then put the crescent wrench on it and snug it up. Okay, here's a new part I got from my local Honda dealership. There's the old one. It's got a green plastic on it. The new one has a black one. Hopefully this is the right part. The bag says it is. So again, I got my new crush washer on there. Just going to thread this in by hand first, all the way. And then now that it's snug, I'll get my crescent wrench on it. And like I said, try to apply about the same force I took off. And hopefully I put enough on there. Okay, so I can get a 7/8 inch socket onto the switch. I can't get a, probably can't get a, well, maybe I can get a ratchet back there. Let me see if I can get one on. Okay, so I was able to get a ratchet on it. I put the socket on first, and then I put the ratchet back here, and I put the ratchet onto the socket. So you can get to it. Yep, there you go. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna tighten that down. Again, I'm not exactly sure what the torque value is for this. I'm guessing about 30 or 40 foot-pounds, but I will snug it up. Probably can't see anything because my arm was in the way. And then put everything back together and see if that fixes it. All right, that's it, y'all. If you notice, I had my engine cover off. I was just showing the kids underneath that, and that had nothing to do with what we were working on. But hey, there it is. That green connector there, got it all hooked back up. Everything back together. So yeah, I'll draw this for a couple of weeks, and if everything goes good, then I will post this video. And yeah, if you have any questions, just drop a comment. I'm pretty good at responding to comments. Also, again, have a link in the description to my post on a forum online that you can look at if you want to look at a kind of a written version of this. But yeah, if you got any questions, just feel free to ask. Thanks for watching. One quick extra comment. Now that I was looking at it, maybe if you do take off this engine cover, maybe you can reach down there. Just take off that first connector, take off both of those connectors. You might be able to reach with a socket and a ratchet back there without taking anything else off. So if you're having to do this, maybe try that first without taking the battery and everything out. You might be able to get to it. It's worth a try. But anyways, just a thought.